So, this is both the simplest and the most difficult chapter in the manual, I think.
Really?
It's
Really?
I think it is for one reason is that it is. Do we have a TV on in the background? Is that me?
Oh, hang on, hang on. I'm sorry.
Ah,
Is that better?
that's wonderful. Thank you very much for doing that. We appreciate that. All right. So what was as I was saying, this is mostly the simplest and the most complicated chapter in my mind in the manual for teachers. Simplest because it's the question that it asks seems to be almost nonsensical. It doesn't seem to make any sense to have to even ask that question, and yet in asking the question, we are challenging the ego mind to let go of everything that it thinks it knows about this world. Everything. There is nothing in this in this world that the ego mind believes or has discovered or holds true that is of a nature that would be that would not contradict what the peace of God is. And so we're going to discuss that and delve into that a little bit better. So let's go right on into our sharing screen here, and just because I'm going to read the first paragraph. What is the peace of God? It has been said that there is a kind of peace that is not of this world. How is it recognized? How is it found? And being found, how can it be retained? Let us consider each of these questions separately, for each reflects a different step along the way. So let's take a look at those three questions. How is it recognized? How do we know the peace of God when it's in front of us? How is it found? Where do we go looking for it? You know, under what rock or around behind what tree or behind which galaxy up in the universe? And once we find it, how do we hold on to that? So I guess and these questions will be answered in the following paragraphs. So who wants to take the first or the second paragraph, actually? Anybody?
Sure.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
First, how can the peace of God be recognized? God's peace is recognized at first by just one thing. In every way, it is totally unlike all previous experiences. It calls to mind nothing that went before. It brings with it no past associations. It is a new thing entirely. There is a contrast, yes, between this thing and all the past, but strangely, it is not a contrast of true differences. The past just slips away, and in its place is everlasting quiet. Only that. The contrast first perceived has merely gone. Quiet has reached to cover everything.
So, unlike everything else that we see in this universe, where we are comparing one thing to another, we are comparing the peace of God to nothing else, because nothing else can stand in the light of comparison with the peace of God. Nothing, it calls to mind nothing that went before. It brings with it no past associations. It is a new thing entirely. And even that sentence, it is a new thing entirely, makes no sense in the ego mind's world, because nothing new can really be in this world, because that would say that it is being created by God. Nothing new. Nothing new. So does anybody have any thoughts about that first paragraph there, or that second paragraph there?
It just
Any?
makes sense to me.
It does. It's scary how much that makes sense, and maybe we're just getting good at this. I don't know, but we're the idea of how and why and where and when God's love is true to our mind is becoming easier and easier for us to comprehend, I think, with all the work that we've done before with the previous 19 chapters. We have been quietly, doggedly pursuing the idea that we are moving against the ego mind's concept of this world and this universe, and moving towards the idea that God's peace is the only peace there is, and therefore the only thing that there really is in to be recognized in this world that we are currently seeing ourselves inhabiting. Anybody else have any thoughts about that? Hi, Virginia. Welcome. Who else just came in? Oh, we're doing pretty good, huh? Okay. Who wants to read paragraph number 3? Oh, someone just joined us.
It does, I will. Isn't anybody reading?
Go ahead.
What? How is this quiet found? No one can fail to find it who seeks out its conditions. God's peace can never come where anger is, for anger must deny that peace exists. Who sees anger as justified in any way or any circumstance proclaims that peace is meaningless and must believe that it cannot exist. In this condition, peace cannot be found. Therefore, forgiveness is the necessary condition for finding the peace of God. And we did quite a lot of work on forgiveness, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
More than this, given forgiveness, there must be peace. For what except attack will lead to war? And what but peace is opposite to war? Here, the initial contrast stands out clear and apparent. Yet when peace is found, the war is meaningless, and it is conflict now that is perceived as non-existent and unreal.
So just by the idea of identifying as peace, the idea of conflict disappears. There is no need for conflict in the presence of God's peace. There is no room for it. There is no reason for it. It has no definition whatsoever in truth, because where peace is, war is meaningless. Conflict is meaningless. And all of that happens with the one tool that we have been given, which is forgiveness, which is the atonement, which is awakening to God's love. We are here only to be truly helpful. And that act of being truly helpful is by acknowledging the fact that there is nothing real here but the peace of God. Nothing at all.
Just forgive.
Yes, just forgive. Anybody else have any thoughts about that? Anybody? Linda, I see your lips moving. Were you trying to say something?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute.
Yeah.
There's a part of me, another tool that I use is if I just laugh at myself or laugh at the situation. And I don't know if that's truly forgiveness or not, but that helps me retain the peace of God that I experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as laughing at yourself is not beating yourself up.
No. It's
Good.
kind of like, oh, I'm just being silly again. I'm just, it's just like, oh yeah. It's like that, duh, I could have had a V8.
Right, exactly. Right.
That kind of laugh.
Exactly. Exactly. Because everyone knows that a V8 is the vegetable version of God's peace, right? Hi, Judy. So let me go back. I want to go back to the screen share so I can look at that. There we go. What but peace is the opposite to war? So we have a lot of breathing room in that one sentence, because we have a lot of room in this world to see the quote reality of war. We can have war with ourselves, with our neighbors, with different countries, with different universes. There's all these opposites to what we think is our truth here, by thinking we have a war against peace. We think we have a conflict there, when we look at anything in this world and see that it does not seem to be a peaceful thing. That is because we are looking at anything in this world. We are beyond the idea of let me start again. We need to move past the idea that anything in this world has a meaning compared to the peace of God. Anything has a comparison to the peace of God. Nothing in this world compares to the peace of God, because nothing in this world is of God. It is not what God's peace was or is, and therefore it is meaningless in comparison. And we just keep moving towards that point more and more and more, with each thought that we incorporate into ourselves as to what our reality is in God's love. How is God's love in our reality compared with anything in this world?
What sentences did you use? It made a lot of sense and it was concise. Nothing compares to the peace of God, because nothing exists.
Nothing exists except for that which is of God. Now that's not here in this paragraph, but there is.
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Yeah, but we can look at it by trying to compare anything to the peace of God, as being that which is incomparable. One cannot, if I am trying to compare something in this world, in this universe, to the peace of God, I am trying to make it real. And in fact, there is nothing that can compare to the peace of God. Nothing. Because if we try to do that, we are making it real, and automatically we're screwed. Basically. Yet when peace is found, the war is meaningless. And it is conflict now that is perceived as non-existent and unreal. When peace is real, conflict is non-existent. Someone else want to read paragraph number 4? Anybody?
I will.
Please do.
How is the peace of God retained once it's found? Returning anger in whatever form will drop the heavy curtain once again, and the belief that peace cannot exist will certainly return. War is again accepted as the one reality. Now must you once again lay down your sword, although you will not recognize that you have picked it up again.
Oops.
That's sort of true.
Yeah.
But you will learn, as you remember, even faintly now, what happiness was yours without it, that you must have taken it again as your defense. Stop for a moment now and think of this. Is conflict what you want? Or is God's peace the better
Hello.
choice?
Hi.
What gives
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
Virginia, could you mute your mic, Virginia? Could you
Just
mute
just a second, Andy. Heidi.
Okay.
could you mute your mic, please?
Sorry.
There we go. Thank you very much. Perfect.
Is conflict what you want, or is God's peace the better choice? Which gives you more? A tranquil mind is not a little gift. Would you not rather live than choose to die? Uh-huh.
Well, there's an easy question, huh? Trouble is, there is a difference between what we think is choosing to die and what the truth is of what death truly is. And we'll be looking into that in the next paragraph. We are not here to die. There is no death in the outcome of what we are experiencing here. The outcome of what we're experiencing here is the peace of God, which passes all understanding. The love of God, which is beyond all understanding, which is not even something we can learn here in this world. We can simply acknowledge the fact that we have placed barriers to the existence of that love. And by removing those barriers, love becomes more apparent in what we are doing here. So we are here to be redeemed of the idea that death can be a possible outcome. We are here to be we are here to forgive the idea that death is the opposite of our life here. Anybody else have any thoughts about that, please?
Say that last sentence you said again.
Oh, you may have to go back and listen to the recording. We are not here to find an opposite to death. Maybe that's another way of putting it. We are not here. What we are here for is to find the true existence of God's love and the true existence of God, the peace of God. Because to think that we are finding an opposite to death makes death real. It says that we are choosing something other than death, when in fact there is no choice in death. There is no choice. We are here only to be in the peace of God, God's will. God's will for us is perfect happiness, perfect in a way that the word perfect has no meaning here in this world whatsoever.
What came to my mind is we're not here to be zombies, the living dead.
Yeah, very good.
More brain, you know.
Right.
We're here to be expressions of God.
Very good. I like
And
that a lot.
That's an
nice.
eternal expression. That's not a temporary zombie expression.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
I like that.
Okay. Paragraph number.
I think it's 5.
Is Baraka frozen? I don't know. On my screen, Baraka's
Could
frozen.
be. He looks pretty still on mine.
Yeah. Was he asking if somebody wanted to read?
I think he was getting ready to.
Yeah,
He did
Well-
ask if somebody wanted to read.
I can do that, but I wonder, should I wait until he becomes unfrozen?
I see.
Or should I can read if you want me
Can
to.
we indicate to him that he's frozen?
I don't know how.
Well, we could in
don't
the
either.
chat.
Oh,
Judy-
now
Oh,
what?
he dropped off.
He dropped off. Oh,
Oh.
heavens.
Well, it says
Baraka,
you
come
are the
back.
host now.
Who's
Well-
the host?
I guess I am. So
Okay.
the recording is still going, so go ahead.
Okay, I'll
He'll catch
read,
up
and
with us.
and we're on paragraph 5 of we're on the Manual for Teachers, lesson 20. What is the peace of God? And I will read paragraph 5 while we hope that Baraka returns to us.
Oh, he will.
Yeah, of course.
I have
So
faith.
I have faith too. I have great faith in Baraka and in our technology. I think. We'll see. All right. Paragraph 5. Living is joy, but death can only weep. You see in death escape from what you made. Wow. But this you do not see, that you made death, and it is but illusion of an end. Death cannot be escape, because it is not life in which the problem lies. Life has no opposite, for it is God. Life and death seem to be opposites because you have decided death ends life. Forgive the world, and you will understand that everything that God created cannot have an end, and nothing he did not create is real. In this one sentence is our course explained. In this one sentence is our practicing given its one direction. And in this one sentence is the Holy Spirit's whole curriculum specified exactly as it is. Well, I got to reread the one sentence. Forgive the world, and you will understand that everything that God created cannot have an end, and nothing he did not create is real. So that's the sentence to end all sentences.
And when I read this in the book, you can't see it now, but it's particularly underlined with yellow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
That's
I think it's
profound.
also, doesn't it also kind of harken back to the very first paragraph in the book? You know, as I recall,
I don't know.
I will go to it. You can look at my ceiling while I look for it. But I am pretty sure that there's that little sentence.
Did we lose Virginia too?
I think so. When she got that call.
Oh,
Mhm.
right. Well, maybe not. You know, maybe I'm thinking of those 3 sentences. Hang on. In the beginning, it's like in the preface. And that says, you know, it's talking about what the course says. It says nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God.
Mhm.
And that's what I was reminded of in reading that one Very powerful sentence. Forgive the world, and you will understand that everything that God created cannot have an end. And nothing he did not create is real.
God is all there is. That's what.
So that was in the first chapter, first paragraph?
You
As
mean the
well?
little,
That
no,
recent piece you just read, did you say it was in the first paragraph too?
it wasn't exactly. I was reminded of something in the preface, and that is nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And that is in the very beginning of a combined edition of the text, workbook, and course manual for teachers.
Mm.
It's, this is how A Course in Miracles begins. It makes a fundamental distinction between the real and the unreal, between knowledge and perception.
You know what's hard about that? I fall and break my shoulder. That sure as heck feels real.
Well, it is real. You experience pain. Yeah.
Well, that's
but is it?
I think the body's real, but the body really isn't real. It's all part of the illusion we created. We're very clever beings.
Yeah, nothing that has a beginning and end is, according to the Course, real. You have a beginning and your body has a beginning and an end.
All right. So nothing beginning and an end is real.
Correct.
Yeah, it's like, you can just boil it down to only love is real.
Carolyn, if you can imagine when yourself in a dream, when you're asleep,
I know.
and this life, so if I fall down or if my head hurts, that's only in the dream. So it doesn't make it true in life.
So if it heals, it's getting better, like a dream ending.
Yes, or if it doesn't heal, it's still a dream. It's of the body, so it is of the dream. But in God's real world, our real self, which is not this tiny little box that we have contained, have contained.
Okay,
never
gotcha.
mind.
I got it.
Sorry, we're doing construction work here at the house, and the breaker for the router just tripped. So, but we're back. Everything's fine.
Yep. We read the paragraph 5, and we were just discussing it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Enjoy.
All right, and I understand that I believe the recording continued even though I dropped out. So I'll be able to go back and see what you guys said.
We were talking about you, Baraka.
Oh, I just knew it. I knew you couldn't resist.
All good. All good.
All right.
We had faith that you'd be back.
Okay, so that was paragraph 5.
We're really glad you're back because we don't like you being unwell, even if it's not real.
Right.
True.
Okay, so are we satisfied with our discussion of paragraph 5? Do we want to go and actually there's something I wanted to go back and do or highlight here in this paragraph number 5 is, you remember the very, 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 very first thing in the course, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Well, here it is again. Here it is
you
again.
And I.
Mary brought that up to us.
I brought it up.
So
I
let's
went
do
right
it
to
again.
I read it a couple times. Baraka, we are on the same page.
Go, Baraka.
Well, I as I read through the course, that first page in the course, the introduction was so profound. I was wondering when he was going to get around to recapping that. Well, here it is, the very thing. And so now I am satisfied that I didn't misinterpret or misread that first introduction, that here it is again, and it is, he's bringing it home. He says, this is, I wasn't kidding around when I first said it the first time. You really do need to pay attention to this, because this is the course as it explained. In this one sentence is our practicing given its one direction. So, and therefore, also, this is where the peace of God truly exists. In this one sentence, everything that God created cannot have an end, and nothing he did not create is real. There it is. That's locking it down. It wasn't a mistake the first time. Not that he ever made a mistake, of course, but it's important enough that here towards the very end of this big fat blue book, he brings it up again. So I was really happy to see that there, and really happy to understand that it was what it needed to be. It needed to be said again. It wasn't just an offhanded remark. Really is, and it also reaffirms in my mind that if I get that first page in the introduction, if I truly get that, then I've got it. That really is the whole thing right there, in a nutshell, as they say. All right. Paragraph number 6. What is the peace of God? No more than this, the simple understanding that his will is wholly without opposite. Aha. There is no thought that contradicts his will, yet can be true. The contrast between his will and yours but seemed to be reality. In truth, there was no conflict, for his will is yours. Now is the mighty will of God himself his gift to you. He does not seek to keep it for himself. Why would you seek to keep your tiny, frail imaginings apart from him? The will of God is one and all there is. This is your heritage. The universe beyond sun and stars and all the thoughts of which you can conceive belongs to you. God's peace is the condition for his will. Attain his peace, and you remember him. How do we remember God? By attaining his will, by remembering his will, by being of his will, and by holding that constantly in our mind without opposite. Peace without opposite. Everything in this universe is ours because we have given it ourselves. But everything in the world, I mean, in the truth of God's will, is not of this universe. It is simply an imagining apart from him. The universe beyond the sun is beyond the sun and stars and all thoughts of which you can conceive belongs to you. That is a different universe. That is not the universe that we look at through telescopes and see pretty pictures of. We see them as reflections of what we thought God's universe could be, not what God's universe truly is. God's peace is in eternity. It has nothing to do with that which it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That is how we understand the difference between what we think God created and what God actually created. The universe beyond the sun and stars and all the thoughts of which you can conceive belongs to you. God's peace is the condition for his will. Attain his peace, and you remember him in eternity. Any thoughts, anyone? Oh, come on. That was pretty darn profound. Got it.
Baraka, I'll
Mary,
say something.
please.
So the lesson is so powerful, and it seems like so simple in some ways, but we are human beings, and it seems to be our nature to forget it all so easily. And so, because I believe the ego is so strong, and the temptation to forget, is so strong. So, my challenge is, what percentage of my day can I be in this state of remembrance, let's say? And there are many things that I use, tools, a breath, a deep, conscious breath, doing the dishes full on. I can be quite OCD, doing like some vacuuming to, the nth degree. But anything that I do that puts me into the present moment is my way of staying in that state where I'm remembering who I am, and that I'm experiencing the peace that is described in our reading. But I just say, use the tools. We've all got them. Use the tools. Make up your own.
Mm-hmm. And
look at something.
I
use
think that is
magnifying glass.
I think that is why it's becoming easier for us as we go along through the manual to see that, because we are constantly reminding ourselves week after week after week of just what it is that we should be striving towards. And it's what is most important to me is that it is becoming less and less a striving.
Yeah.
I don't have to try as hard. The idea that I am forgetting who I am is becoming less an event to me.
I feel
Go ahead.
I feel the pain of that forgetfulness. I feel it pretty instantly. I am pretty in tune with my own, like, feeling good or not feeling good. Feeling good to me is feeling God. Feeling not good is me forgetting that I do feel good.
It is very easy to slip into the ego mind of not feeling good about myself. It's
or somebody
else, which is the same thing, because I and my brother are one. And if I don't feel good about myself, if I feel bad about Vladimir Putin or my next door neighbor or anything else that I come across in this window on the world that I'm looking at here right now, that reminds me that there's something other than the peace of God, that does nothing but tear myself apart. My perception of myself in relationship to the universe as being the opposite of the peace of God is doing nothing more than destroying my own knowledge of who I am. I am ripping that apart. I'm tearing it asunder, as they say, by not acknowledging the fact that I am here only to be truly helpful. And the only way I can be truly helpful is to be constantly in mind of the fact that I am here to realize God's will, to live in the peace of God. And there can be nothing else in my world that can bring me happiness, because anything other than that does not bring true happiness. It brings satisfaction to the ego mind, maybe, but it does not bring true happiness that the peace of God can bring. Anybody else? Yes, Brenda,
Brenda.
please.
Yeah, I'm just reminded of today's lesson. It's on my decision, salvation rests. And
Mhm.
so I was reminded by Linda Flock's comment about remembering to laugh at when like Mary is saying she feels off her piece. It's a decision to step back and realize that only what's eternal. I'm quiet most of the time. I can't speak because in the background my husband is making his eggs for breakfast and he thinks all of this religion stuff is totally retarded. So I can't really freely speak. But he's gone out now.
Okay.
But I really, do you know Albert Agracio? He's someone who did the course in pictures. Like
Oh,
he's a Spanish or a Mexican born, I think. And he
Hmm.
lives in Ottawa right now with his wife. And he did traveling for peace. Like he traveled the world on a peace walk. And he's an artist and he illustrated every lesson for the course. And
oh,
I just
Wow.
got his book last week. And it was really profound today's lesson. It's like a visual of the lesson, and that sort of sticks in your mind more.
yeah.
And
Do you have that book
it
present with you right now?
um, well, it's on my piano in the other room, but I could go get it and show it to you.
Please do.
Yes.
Please do.
I'd love to see
Yeah,
it.
if you're still
Yeah.
here or like in the next few minutes.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, I'll
absolutely.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please go ahead.
because it's better for me to show it than explain it. I'm gonna go get it.
Sounds like it's a
Okay, I'm
stupendous
gonna
book.
stop talking now.
Okay. Okay, go get the book. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. I've never even heard of such a thing.
Me either. Hi, Marianne.
Marianne, hi.
Welcome. Welcome.
Hi there.
You're on
Hi.
silent. You're
You're
muted.
Oh,
muted.
you're muted.
You're
you're
muted,
muted.
Marianne.
Unmute yourself. There you
There you
go.
are.
Hi,
Yeah.
Good
everyone.
job.
Hi.
Hi.
I just
Just to-
realized I had the camera blocked.
Oh, okay. Just to catch you up, Brenda is going to find a book that she has, which is an illustrated Course in Miracles, like an illustration for each lesson. So she's going to come back to us and then show us today's illustration for today's
Oh,
lesson.
lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
Mhm.
What is the number of today's lesson, by the way?
That's a good
238.
question. 238.
19. No, wait a minute.
238.
Hold on.
219.
No, it's chapter 20. What is the peace of God?
No,
No,
in the
but-
what lesson number?
In the workbook.
Oh,
in the workbook.
I'm sorry. Don't ask
Does
me
it-
then.
Does anybody know the workbook lesson of the day? What number that would be?
238.
238. Okay.
38. Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, really? That far?
On my
Okay.
decision, all salvation.
Yeah, rest. Okay, it'll be interesting to see what photo or what illustration goes with that. There she is. Oh my gosh. Okay. Brenda, you're muted, so you probably want to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm just back. This is the cover of it.
Okay.
It says 365 illustrations and that's a
Can't hear you.
picture of the author. It's a self-portrait.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah, Brenda, you're really
Can you
breaking.
hear me now?
Can't hear you, Brenda.
It's
It's
really
breaking
breaking up.
up.
And now
Yeah.
you're frozen.
Oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah, and now it's frozen on that photo. So if you can,
Oh,
I think what she's
okay.
saying is that
That's my
a
connection.
self-portrait
Okay.
of the man, holding his hand up to a mirror. You can see the hand here. Well, but anyway, that's really cool.
And who is this again?
Yeah, I'd like to know too, the name of this. I'm gonna Google this, but
I would
Brenda,
like
you're
to look it up, and I would
still
like to look the
frozen.
guy up because he's in Ottawa.
Uh-huh, yeah. So when
But I
Brenda
don't know.
unfreezes, we'll get her to tell us who
Well,
the author is.
I will also see if I can get the link to it online. So because I believe the name of the book is 365 Illustrations.
Yeah,
And so I'll try to provide the link when I
You
distribute.
could, yeah, send it
recording.
on the email.
Right.
365 illustrations, like one a day.
Yeah. Mhm.
what a great idea.
Well, that's like Jimmy's project where he set all the lessons to music.
Yeah,
Mhm.
another
Yeah.
brilliant idea. Oh, Albert Agrasso.
Oh, there's Brenda. Who is it?
Albert
Oh, Albert
Agrasso.
Agrasso. Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
Albert Agrasso, Albert Agrasso,
All right.
Agraso. Good, thank you, Brenda.
Brenda.
What a joy. Don't worry about it, Brenda.
Yeah, we got it.
Good. Good.
Linda,
What a
were you going to
wonderful
say?
share.
Were you going to say something, Linda?
I just said thank you.
Oh, yes, Brenda. Thank you very much. It's a wonderful turn
Mhm.
on. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And were you going to show us the picture for today?
Yeah, today's was really good.
Oh, wow.
it's pretty detailed.
Wow.
I
Well, this-
can't,
That's
Yeah,
okay.
it's
I
hard.
can't hold.
That's good.
it
Yeah,
good.
Got the gist of it.
Yeah, we got,
Yeah.
and I think once if I can find the book online, I will see if I can reproduce that drawing in the email. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Very nice. Thank you
okay.
again.
So
I'm looking forward to it.
Marianne,
I'm going to Google it right away.
Marianne, what's going on with you?
Oh, I'm just
and-
sending you the link, the Amazon link to it.
Oh,
Oh, perfect. Okay. Are you doing it in the chat?
Oh, I was sending you an email, but that's even better, doing
Yeah,
it in the chat. Thank
just-
you.
Just post it in the chat and we'll be able to do it that way.
Okay.
but Baraka, if we get it in the chat and we click on it, won't we go away from here?
No.
No.
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
You
I'm always
don't-
kind of afraid to do
No,
that.
you don't go away from here. It
Okay.
stays.
Oh, thanks, Judy. Judy, did you survive all the weird California weather? Oh, yeah.
It's been one of the weirdest fortnights I've had in a while, so the weather is it's like an eyelash on the whole thing. So
Oh.
we in Petaluma have been safe from the worst parts that happened. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Brenda, I just spotlighted you so that your picture fills the entire frame here. So if you want to put that back up
wow.
again, then we can see it again.
Oh, wow. Tell you, we've got a pretty high-tech group here.
Wow.
Hmm.
Is that today's lesson, Brenda?
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Looks
But-
like he's looking in a mirror.
Yeah, he's looking in a mirror. You can see his higher self behind himself.
Ah.
Oh,
Mm.
And he's
wow.
pointing at his friends in the real world, like the earth world.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see their higher self behind them.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And they're living from their hearts.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Hmm.
Really.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Indeed.
Yeah, very cool.
There it is, the peace of God right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
And that's what's eternal.
In the mirror?
Excellent. Thank you very much, Brenda. Really appreciate that. Okay. So I think in the next day or two, Mr. Agrasso is going to sell about 20 more copies.
I think so, Baraka.
Perfect. Listen, let's get back to just as a wrap up, let's get back to the original subject of our meeting here today, gathering today. And gallery, there we go. Anybody else have any closing thoughts about the text, about our discoveries of the text? Anything at
Well,
all?
I was just thinking the last line, God's peace is the condition for his will. And that the peace, there's a peace of God, a P-I-E-C-E of God in everyone,
Oh,
the Holy Spark.
The Holy
nice.
And
Spark,
that's the
yes.
condition for his will, us returning to the inner spark of holiness in our minds and in everyone's mind,
Brilliant.
everyone's heart.
Yes,
you.
brilliant, Marianne. Thank you.
I love I love the little accidents of the English language where two words which normally wouldn't have any meaning
Mhm.
together at all, but just because we pronounce them the same or any other thing brings those two things together, like peace and peace.
Mhm.
I am in the peace of God, a piece of God.
Mhm.
I've never put that together before. Thanks, you guys. This is like so illuminating.
All right. Well, this is really brilliant. I can't wait to see what you guys were talking about while I was gone. We have the electricity back on again. So next week, what is the role of words in healing? Well, son of a gun, weren't we just talking about that? As symbols, words have quite specific references. As symbols, words have quite specific references. But we're going to learn how we can take those references and put them together to have true meaning that is above and beyond that which the ego thinks their meaning is. And I think that's going to be quite enlightening. So thank you all very, very much for gathering here today.
So
And
chapter 21 next week.
Chapter 21, yes. And I'll be sending out the recording of this meeting here as soon as it becomes available online. And then we'll talk about, I'll have an email in the next couple of days talking about what we're going to discuss next week. Any other?
Okey-dokey.
Okay, thank you all very, very much
Thank you.
for
Thank
being
you.
my mighty companions as always. I do appreciate it. And
Thank you.
please, when you get the recording, don't forget to 1, subscribe, 2, like, and 3, invite your friends. Please invite your friends to come join us, because the more we have a gathering of the mind of God, the larger our view of that mind can be. Thank you all very much. Have a great time.
Thank you, Baraka,
Thank
and
you.
everyone.
Okay.
Love
Thank
all.
you.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.